working on the Out of Bounds poetry project, which was a project that stems from an anthology released by Blood Axe in 2012, which captures a whole bunch of poets, like a very wide selection of poets, some of my poetic heroes, and I have a few poems in there. And I'm the touring poet on the project, which means that I get to go to lots of places, talk to people about poetry in place. So if you'd like to talk to me and Dave about poetry in place at some point, please come up to us afterwards and we'll arrange something. So I'm just going to share some poems with perhaps a northerly aspect. I was born in Zambia but came to live in Newcastle and had a Geordie accent for a long while, which my distinctly southern cousins found hilarious. Particularly the way I said Bath, because they say Bath, and it was a source of frustration between us for some while until they co-opted me to their system. So I'll start with some poems around that, I think. Given the soundtrack this evening, I'm going to start with this poem, which I'll hopefully remember, but actually I'll look at it just to make sure. So this is a Newcastle poem, specifically about Newcastle being, when you get there in the station, you think of it as an urban place, but you can't escape its coastal feeling because there's so many gulls all of the time. This poem contains gull song, though not song as such, so much as guttural injunction. Such music we forgot how to understand, since it lacks that carefully planned sweetness, sounding instead of black shod clockers on, the splash and clack of shop fronts, cabbies sparking tabs in the cold of a windswept rank, flanked by one of Monkchester's lesser monuments, a sentry stopped in his bronze tracks, steps echoing the strains of an old tune, hidden in the genes of a new one, a left-behind accent fizzing at the back of my tongue. So that's my Geordie there, disappearing at the end of the poem.